sort of, they think it's a competitive thing at first, and they don't understand quite yet what we're doing. All right, you may move about the space and find out your value. Two camps here. Now let's see if we can make a line facing me, highest card here to lowest card. So can you shift yourself so that you're in a line, you're in a continuum. There's a first place all the way to a last place. Interesting, this is so common. Yeah. And there's always a hesitancy to do this, and then I say, well, I'm going to count down to 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It looks like they formed their own little thing. That's okay. So let's move you over here. So that we're one. Perfect. That's okay. Then what I would do is I would start at one end or the other, and I would say, could you tell me, what value are you?
Guess the number?
Yeah, or you just tell me, what do you think you are?
I feel like I'm a high value card.
Can you tell me exactly what you think you are?
10.
And you are a? You can look now. What are you, Amanda?
I'm really not sure if I'm a 9 or a 10.
What are you? You can look.
Okay, I'm a 9.
What are
I think
you?
I'm an
You are a?
Oh, 9.
What do you think?
I think I'm an 8.
You are a? Pretty close.
Oh, I think I'm the same.
You're in this together. What do you think you are?
Probably a 3.
Look. Wow.
2.
Look at. Yeah, 2. That is amazing. And all the times I played this, you guys, there were no royal cards. Because that's a really good way to begin, is I model the royal card first. Like I say, for instance, if Amanda had a king, I might, right, that's a very, I might genuflect. There's that vocabulary word that we learn. So that's an easy one that the kids can relate to. And always, what do you think are the most difficult cards to guess?
I wasn't sure.
The middle ones.
Yeah.
Because they're just not sure. And oftentimes the kids really want to play this again because they want a shot at getting a better deal, getting a better hand, so to speak. And we'll play this a little bit, and then we'll kind of sit down and talk about it. So why don't we do that? And talk to me about, well, what do you think, what did you learn by doing this activity?
Well, I think like in the cultural piece, we can talk about how good or bad a person can feel.
Yeah.
At high level
Card or
I know, I felt bad for myself.
Yeah.
I went up to everybody with a big smile.
I know.
Like,
It was very obvious right away that I was a low card. Really. Like just kind of ignoring me. So I'm like, oh,
I'm definitely a low card.
So that's
Right.
how the really people feels, that feeling is the real.
Right, and they feel this, the dynamic, the school dynamic, certainly the kids will talk about that. But also, I mean, in terms of, I was thinking of talking about social studies or politics or whatever, there are people groups that for whatever reason are the low cards. Who decided that? Who decided that one particular, I mean, hello, immigration policies? Who decides that one people group is acceptable and another is not? It's just the card they've been given.
Would you ever fix the cards so that somebody that everyone's treating as a low person gets a high card?
I've never done that because I don't know quite how I would do it. But you know, that is something to be sensitive to because it's a little bit easier if I know the kids. So maybe this is a group that you want to know them. you know that you want to know that they can sort of approach this in a mature way. I've got a 4th grade group that I work a lot with. That this is an activity they wanted to do again and again and again because I think it resonates with them. One child said, we were talking about it, and he said, I felt invisible. And that's been something we kind of go back to. Did that make you feel invisible? So it's something that, if something comes up in another context, this was a cool thing.
Or maybe we can say, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Maybe we can say that the lower cars are the best in this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
That's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
I'm totally stealing that. That's great.
Teaching about it reminds me of the blue eyebrow line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought of when we were doing this, maybe just because I was thinking of social studies, but like it reminded me of like the Jews and the Germans.
Mhm.
You know, like how appearance was that, you know, back during the Holocaust and everything. If you even looked Jewish, you know, some people treated you, you know, just horribly.
Right.
You know,
Too hard.
yeah, like yeah.
I love what you said though, because what I would do is do it again and not tell them that I've changed the rules. So the high cards are sitting here thinking, or even add a little bit of an incentive, like you're going to get to line up for recess about 3 minutes earlier or something, but not tell them that no, I changed the criteria. And so they're thinking they're sitting pretty with the high cards, but no, I just decided that it's the low cards. It's a good idea. A neat thing happened. I was reading Sounder to the 4th graders, and one student raised her hand and said, I probably prompted this. I said, wow, we don't know Ma's name, do we? And a student raised her hand and she said, we don't know any of their names. And I said, I wonder why the author decided that we're never given, it's Ma, Pa, the boy in Sounder. Have you guys read that book about the sharecropper family? And like 3 kids said, that's because they're invisible. So that sort of idea of they're living within the culture, but they have no status. So therefore, they're not even given, the author didn't even give them a name because they have no status. And I was like, okay, that's really big when they just, that concept, that they understood that the author made a conscious choice, that a name, it gives you personhood and status and identity, and to be stripped of that means you're invisible. So, cool. The last thing I want to do is have you guys get into groups and kind of maybe take some of the ideas that we've been using in terms of adding movement to language. I love poetry, and I found a wonderful poem called Arithmetic by Carl Sandburg, and I thought maybe it would, I didn't know if I would have any math people in here too, but it's just a wonderful poem that I remember the first time I read it, I just thought, okay, this just begs for some kind of movement. And this is a piece that I've actually worked with groups of kids to create a movement piece. And I was a kid who really did struggle with mathematics and had to really, physicalizing stuff helped me, and using manipulatives really helped me to begin to understand. I had to touch it, and so that's kind of why I chose this poem. On the back is another wonderful one of his called Boxes and Bags. Are you guys familiar with Carl Sandburg at all? He's a Minnesota, poet. But I'll go ahead and pass it out, and then we can read it, and maybe just the last